What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome to another FanTracks podcast coming to you from fanboysanonymous.com. I'm Tony Mango. I've got Robert D. Felice with me.
All right, Tony. Are you Batman or are you Superman?
I think I'm public.
Well, that makes me enemy.
Maybe I'm the backslash. I don't know. Yeah, what we're doing here is another FanTracks. If you don't know what that is, I'll give you a breakdown of what that means in a moment or so. But first things first, I want to talk about why we're doing this. It's not just, for fun and for you guys, but it's also because this was sponsored through the Patreon. And if you go to patreon.com/fanboysanonymous, anything that you guys donate towards helping us grow is greatly appreciated. But the Pick Your Poison tier is part of this. And Guest 5, who has sponsored some things in the past, has also sponsored this one. And he, with his suggestion, obviously that's the whole point of the sponsored request thing, got us to do Superman/Batman Public Enemies. So that's what we're going to be watching here. And the way that we normally do the FanTracks and the way that we normally do any of these kind of things is going to be followed through here the way that, you should be used to by now if you've watched our other 31 episodes of the FanTracks podcast or any of the fan ounce tables from the Smart Count Moment side of things, which is we're going to be watching this. We want you to watch it along with us. And that's what the commentary track is going to be. Obviously, we did not work on the movie, so we are not going to give you the whole, the director is saying this, and we're going to interview this production designer or whatever. That's not how it works. We're fans. That's why it's FanTracks. It'd be kind of cool to do that. I don't know what I would be able to contribute, but, it'd be cool to do something like that. At some point, maybe, I don't know, who knows. If anybody's ever a part of any kind of a movie, maybe we'll try to get somebody on part or whatever. But for this and all the other ones so far in the past, that's not the case. So we're just going to approach it as fans, because that's what we are. We're fans. So we're going to, make some jokes. We're going to talk about what we like. Maybe if there's, things that we can pinpoint of some little cool moments or something. Just, hanging out, shooting the shit, that kind of thing. And hopefully it'll give you that kind of experience. So we can't provide you the movie. That's a copyright issue. So instead, get your DVD or your Blu-ray or your VHS tape or your... I don't know, what are you kids listening to these days? That kind of thing. Obviously, there's on HBO Max as an option. There's digital downloads probably on Amazon or so. Whatever it might be. There's lots of different ways that you can watch things these days. Or you can do that kind of thing that people do every once in a while with live streams and UFC fights or whatever. Some guy can have it reflecting off of his glasses and stream it on Twitch. I don't know. Whatever method it is. I'm not going to look down on you, but you should make sure that you're at the 00000 mark, just all zeros. And when we say 3, 2, 1, play, hit the play button, and you'll be synced up with us. Probably maybe like a split second off, depending on how fast you hit play. Usually that happens with Rob and I. It ends up being like one of us is like a split second above the other one or something, but that doesn't really matter. As long as you're at that mark, and when I say, 3, 2, 1, play, you hit it, then you should be good. And I think that's pretty much all the stuff we need to get out of the way. So we've got this queued up. Hopefully you've got yours queued up. If not, obviously pause this. Then you can go back and do it another time. It's a little bit easier.
Get your popcorn, get your drinks, get your hot dog.
Put some Buncher Crunch in that popcorn, because that's the best thing to mix with the popcorn.
Get some Flavicol, get some coconut oil.
Yeah.
Do it the right way.
I really want to do that.
I would really do too.
And get your stuff ready to go because we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, play. I got the WB logo up. You should too. If not, if you've got a New Line Cinema, you're watching the wrong movie. It's like, what do you mean you're not watching Star Wars right now? So you've seen this one, right?
Haven't seen it in maybe 8 to 10 years, maybe.
Yeah, I watched this when it first came out, and I might have seen it a second time. I don't remember for sure, but I remember liking it. This is one of the first ones of these kind of movies, I think.
It very well could be the first. The good news is Kevin Conroy's in this movie.
We got Tim Daly, we got Kevin Conroy, we got Clancy Brown. The best possible cast. I do like George Newbern, but Tim Daly, I think, is just slightly better as Superman. That's a that's not a good hand sign.
Yeah.
I always liked Luthor as president type things.
Wow,
Jeez,
this age is really weird. First of
imagine
all,
having a 22% approval rating compared to something.
Lex Luthor. Also Lex Luger. Lex Luthor as president. It seems like a scary reality these days.
Like the LC. It's a good little logo.
LexCorp, baby.
It is crazy to me though in these stories that as much as Luthor has done, people are like, "Yeah, vote for him for president." And then of course we get some real life
I
stuff that
just,
happens, and it goes,
it's
"You know
not
what?"
though, because we've lived through Trump. Major for what a name! What a shitty name!
So you're definitely ahead of me then. Like I've got them zooming into Luthor's face right now.
All right, we're in sync now. I posted.
There you go. Now I'm on the Warner Brothers Animation Presents, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Maybe you have a faster TV. I don't know. The flash pops up in this, and it's running your thing. So out of that group of people, I've never been the biggest fan of any of them necessarily. They've got value to them, of course. Like I do like Captain Atom as part of the Justice League, for instance, and Black Lightning. Like to me, Black Lightning, it's weird. Black Lightning is there. They've got Juice from JLU. They've got Black Vulcan from Super Friends. They've got Static Shock. It's like all this for the same idea of a character, and when you merge all those characters together, you got a pretty damn good one. But I forgot
It
John
wouldn't be
C.
a
McGinley's in
podcast if we
this.
didn't talk about merging.
Yeah, that's true. Who's John C. McGinley voicing this? Does he do Captain Atom? I haven't done that part of the template yet.
Uh,
Allison Mack is Power Girl. I know that. She, of course, in the span of time that this movie came out, her career went in a weird direction.
oh yeah.
If anybody doesn't know, she's a part of that crazy cult that was trying to do a lot of terrible things. Well, it's a cult. Of course they're doing terrible things. That's the whole point of cults. She's not going to be a part of any of these movies going
Wow, it's
forward.
so old that there's no reference to Bill Finger.
That's true, yeah. Well, this was 2009, so wow. Still though,
You've
animation's
seen
holding up
Batman
so
and
far.
Bill, right? The documentary.
Pretty sure I did.
Pretty good.
This, of course, is directed by the same guy who's directed like almost every single one of these. Sam Liu.
I've explained this to you, but for the viewers out there, getting into animation is a definite dream of mine.
I don't think I could ever do it. Not only do I not have any kind of a talent for it, but the patience for it, I think, would
Oh, I
kind
don't
of
have
drive me
talent
crazy.
for it. I just want to be the idea guy. I
OJ, come
appreciate that they're
on.
not using a white Bronco.
Yeah, I love you both with the OJ. Talk about a dated reference, right?
Yeah. He's living a free life.
I think he just got his COVID vaccine or something, didn't he?
Oh. Well, if not him, then who? Like,
Be a nice fake out if instead of this being Superman that comes along, it's just suddenly like
he's
I don't
the
know, like
mayor. Wow, look at that animation.
the abs.
Not used to Superman with sideburns.
The best Superman voice.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit! I like that.
Imagine like a more vindictive Superman just cuts off his arm. Soups is just like, nah. What are your thoughts on Power Girl?
Um, a poor man's Wonder Woman.
Bingo. To me, Power Girl is
It's a lazy ass name too.
there shouldn't be a Power Girl because it's just Supergirl but older. And if that's the case, why isn't she just Superwoman? And why is it Superwoman anyway? Like,
Maybe she feels that she's got women empowerment and she's not super anymore. She's powerful.
and then the whole boob window thing is always the most ridiculous costume.
I wasn't gonna draw attention to it, but my god.
They've tried to justify that in different things by having it be like, well, she didn't know what symbol she wanted to put on there, or she wanted that to be a distraction. And it's like, oh, come on, you just drew boobs, and you just, like,
that's her real superpower, huh?
Right.
God. Lex Luthor makes a strong case for the shaved head, no beard look. It's Amanda Waller, yes?
Yep. By a CCH Pounder.
God, that is unmistakable. She's scary. Is that if we give the current vice president a haircut? Is that
Nah.
Nah.
Amanda Waller is such a good character.
Amanda Waller is legitimately scary. Like, she gives no fucks, and I think that is what makes her a very fearsome character.
And I love Pounder's voice for the character too, because she's got a soft voice, but you can tell that there's just sort of like a badass kind of hint to it. They did draw her really fat in this one, though.
Really fat, like
she's like Jabba the Hutt fat in this.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Maybe she's
like
a good Fortuna fan.
like that. The face, like the neck, is really disturbing.
Good lights. And now we got bats.
Yes. I'll say right now, it took far too long to get here.
Bruce is like, I've already figured out how to get rid of the meteor. I mean, you didn't tell me that they can't figure out how to get rid of this meteor.
Well, see, Batman pre-plans everything because he has no superpowers. So he has to. Superman's like, I can take my chances.
It's a good design of the Batcave.
Great.
I always like the Batcave being more like hollowed out. President 1. Is this the one with Metallo's in this one, right? I think so. I'm spoiling things. So. Who would I what?
Who would you have play Luthor?
I thought
Jesse Eisenberg, obviously.
yeah, I thought that was terrible. I thought that two people that could play a really good Luthor are Bradley Cooper and John Hamm.
I'd watch Cooper.
For you, yeah.
You worked for Reagan, you little bitch. You can work
Yeah.
for Luther.
He's like, yeah, that's my name. Don't you know that by now? Fuck a president. Yeah, there you go. There's Metallo. Thought so. I mean, you don't recognize Metallo by now? Just because he, well, I was gonna say just because he's got glasses on, but we're talking about Clark Kent here. They really drew everybody in this one to have as chiseled abs as possible.
Yeah, the definition in this movie is out of this world.
Every single person's Tony Nese.
Now, if you could pick one of these characters to just have exist, would it be Bruce?
No, Superman. Because as great as Bruce is as a character, he's fucking nuts. You know?
That's terrible. My thought was Amanda Waller.
Now those people are real. That's the problem.
But like, she's such a fucking. She is, as the kids say, she is that bitch. Like literally, she is. I would vote for her because she would get shit done.
Imagine you get one character in this whole thing that exists for real, and it's Metallo. Just this fucking robot dude with this rock that doesn't do anything because Superman's not a real.
Well, human beings can live forever, but they won't like the press. Oh, wait a minute. Why am I worried about that? You can fly.
Yeah. All these poor gravestones. Like, I didn't get insurance for it for Superman to crash through it.
They really don't worry about any of the collateral damage. They're very selfish in that way.
That's why you're going to vote for Amanda Waller. It rains just for the atmosphere. Also, Metallo keeps his pants on just to make sure that he doesn't have something swinging around like Dr. Manhattan.
No metal dick.
Or as I referred to him when I was watching the movie, Dr. Manhood. Just fuck everybody's gravestones up, Clark. That's real nice.
Guys, there are dead people here, please.
Yeah. Bruce.
What's the lesson here?
Don't fuck with Batman.
Exactly.
Conroy's always good with the kind of noises too.
I should try to get a cameo from him while he's still alive.
Have him be like, I'm vengeance. I'm Kevin Conroy.
No, I'm gonna have him like give the most motivational speech. So whenever I'm like out of it, it's like, no, Batman said I could do this. Oh wow, he fell perfectly into a grave.
That's convenient. They have Bruce do that quite a bit. That the jump on top of somebody and plant bombs, and it's one of those things that I just like.
Yeah.
I like this version of Metallo, by the way, the one that can kind of like he's like more malleable.
Yeah, he seems like an actual threat. I like how he's just doing this with like tweezers.
That's a good line. Lose the sense of humor, do us both a favor, and buy one. Now, why wouldn't you just call Wally or Barry or whoever's the Flash in this universe? Like he said, like, where's the Flash when you need him?
Imagine if this was the bulk of the movie. Just
Yeah,
them and
I'd watch it. Tal was probably just like, oh, well, all right.
he casually walked away. Like, that's not Soups.
It's ominous. Oh, it's you. And what it like that, Bruce is dead. Just most anticlimactic type of thing.
He's like, don't get melodramatic, bitch.
How is your preferred Batman and Superman kind of bromance?
Dynamic. Clark is Boy Scout, and Bruce is just reluctant to work with him. But he knows it's for the greater good. But he's got like 5 backup plans on how to kill him at a moment's notice. Because he's Batman and he doesn't trust anybody, and 2, he doesn't like not being the center of attention. Don't let anybody say, oh, I like to keep a low profile. No, you don't. Not as Batman or as Bruce. You love being the center of attention, you little orphan boy.
I like the dynamic that they've got in this one as a good foundation for a lot of things. Like even that little discussion that they just had going on where he's like, "Hey, whatever happened to Magpie? She died. Well, how come the good ones never die? There's no good villains." I like when they are adversarial, but at the same time that they trust each other like brothers, kind of.
Why was Alfred ready to go?
He's Alfred. He's the man. He's got a cup of tea on the or pot of tea boiling and a shotgun loaded.
Was Alfred the one that took the fucking kryptonite out?
Yeah, I guess so.
Alfred's the MVP here.
Good design for Alfred too. I like when they give him the little mustache.
Great jawlines here.
Yeah, this is not as crazy disproportionate as the Justice League cartoon where people are inverted triangles, They have these little stick figure legs and they can't possibly hold up to their torsos. This is a little bit more believable when it comes to their musculature and everything.
I like it. They are.
Yeah, of course they're going to believe it. That would be the one problem of having Superman be real. There would be so many people that would just be like, "We shouldn't have Superman," or whatever. Which is one of those, one of those interesting enough stories.
You'd have a bunch of police. He took our deer.
Yeah,
We're letting these aliens take.
Luthor's such a dick.
Yeah. But you usually like those kinds of characters.
Was that?
You usually like those kinds of characters.
Oh, I love Luther. He's great.
Why am I not surprised?
$1 billion.
Number 2.
Number 2. What are you up to? Somebody listening to this is like, what the fuck are you talking about? We watched the Bond movies. Who else could play a good Luther? Because you need somebody who's good looking. That's the thing. He's got to be somebody who could practically be a Superman type. He's got the Karen haircut in this too, by the way.
Why did he give her that look? Like,
Wink. Comes off a little bit crazy if you're just like, I didn't kill him. The Batman can say I didn't kill him. Yeah. The dude who dresses up like a bat. And a lot of you'd think isn't real. She kind of looks like she could be like a Katie Sackhoff.
they did a good Supergirl show.
I watched one episode and I was like, that's not for me.
It's bad. Never mind.
Batwoman?
Yeah.
Didn't even watch it.
But I mean, is it back? Because I know they're doing the.
I think so. I always wonder in these kind of offshoot movies, like they had done that little reference of where's Flash when you need him? Where's the rest of the Bat family? Like,
We eventually get there in this saga.
well, they're not in the same continuity, but like in this one, for instance, like where's Tim? Because you can argue like, Nightwing might be off on his own. Barbara might be off on her own. Maybe
They
she's in
never get to
college,
Tim.
whatever. But
They get to Tim, but it's never like he's not focused on it ever.
yeah, because he's kind of like at that point you've already done a couple Robins, and you kind of want to skip to Damian, and
He's just Red Robin, right?
he was Drake for a little bit in the comics, which is just dumb. But in my story, he's Flamebird. But
Red Robin's a dumb name.
yeah, good burgers though.
Yum.
I mean, if you're guards and you see Batman and Superman, don't you just go, can you guys leave, please? Yeah. I'm not gonna pull a gun out on the dude that bullets bounce off of. There's no point. Oh fuck, who's this?
Evil.
Is this a Banshee? Oh yeah, Banshee. Forgot she's in this. For a split second, I was like, is Black Canary in there?
Have survived that fall.
What do you think about the Silver Banshee? To me, she's
Clark,
not a good enough character to be on her own, but when they do these kind of like ensemble things, she's kind of interesting.
Like Clark can survive that, Bruce can't survive. Is that
Killer Frost and Mr. Freeze and
no? Freeze deserves better.
Icicle and Captain Cold.
Is he not even?
He might not even talk. Hey, he doesn't seem to have a mouth. It's weird. Great voice if they bring him back in there, though.
Not a good use of Freeze.
Yeah, didn't even say a line. Can't she just take it off? I mean, she's got hands. Come on, Bruce.
No, it becomes implanted on her skin.
We got Solomon Grundy and is that Mongol?
Yep.
Why would Mongol just be hanging out on Earth like that? That's a weird. All the characters they could have used.
Don't let logic get in the way of a good story.
That could have been like Blockbuster or maybe Bane. Bane would have been kind of cool. Have Grundy fight Superman and Bane against Batman. R.I.P. I don't like Grundy being able to talk.
They had to make up Freeze. Never mind that shit. Here comes Mungo.
Grundy's a character that I like when he's done well. Sometimes, like in this one, I don't like how he's talking or whatever, but Shiva, okay. I like Grundy best when, like, that story in the JLU with Hawkgirl.
So this is really, so we are almost halfway through.
Really? Already? God damn.
This really feels like a proof of concept film.
True. You know what, though? I'm just criticizing the Grundy speaking, and they made up for it.
Maybe there's a justification for Freeze not speaking.
Wait, who's this again? Well, no, that's Grodd. I'm talking about the woman. Is that their interpretation of Shade? I missed when he had said that.
That's a good animation for Grodd.
There are so many monkeys. You get into, like, different DC villains and everything. Titano the Super Ape, Ultra Humanite, Gorilla Grodd.
Monkeys are the easiest thing to put against a human. You can always get into the like evolution idea.
Chemo? Chemo? I don't know how to pronounce that. Giganta. Get Deadshot. Black Manta. Who else we got in this mix here? Tarantula, King Shark. I mean,
nice.
With all the characters that are here right now, Soup can just fly up in the air.
I really enjoyed the line of "It's your funeral." I already had one.
Yeah. That guy I don't recognize, the one that he just punched away. Not King Shark, the one before. There's Bane. Bane at this point, though, I mean, come on. How many times are you going to have your line cut and not just develop a different thing where Bruce can't do that? I'm hoping, by the way, that the third Wonder Woman has Circe and Giganta. They have to have those two as the villains. And maybe this one won't have a stupid rest of the movie like the second movie.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't just keep that on streaming because that movie was awful.
Oh yeah, Starfire's in this too. I forgot about her. Have you seen Titans?
I saw a bit of season 1.
Season 2 is so much better. I really want to
get into it because I've heard it's so good.
2 is drastically better.
That's good to hear.
Still not a huge fan of Starfire in the series, but whatever. Look at Waller.
Yeah.
I like the colors, the purple and the green. That's a good touch. That goes well with his armor suit.
What is that supposed to be on his chest?
It's like an atom. Because he's Captain Atom.
So Power Girl is involved with Luther, yes.
Probably.
I get those vibes.
Is that supposed to be Katana?
Yep.
It's a weird design for Katana. Not a fan of that design. I like her better with the like the Suicide Squad type of design. It's gotta be exhausting to fight like 14 people in a row.
Always enjoyed Static Shock.
I wasn't too familiar with Major Force when this movie came out. I'm still not super familiar, but Major Force is a character that I'm kind of surprised hasn't been used a little bit more. Because he is just sort of like another, you could fight a lot of different people type of things. And he can go toe to toe with Superman for a little bit. So I'm surprised they haven't used him in more media.
Clever. Good use of the ability of being Superman, you know?
You know what superpower that he has that we never get to see anymore, though?
What's that?
Super basket weaving. He had that in the comics at one point. He could just weave baskets real fast.
Of course he can.
Those comics are terrible. There's one of them where he can make little miniature versions of himself and shoot them out of, I think it's his hands. None of this shit makes sense. I know it's daylight.
Look at that Bluetooth earpiece there.
Yeah. This is probably around the era where I was like, I should really get a Bluetooth thing. They're like the way of the future. Nobody uses them anymore. Yeah, you're not ominously a villain, are you? I mean, you're talking about Clark here.
Come on.
Does he ever fucking kill people like that? Unless you're Zack Snyder. Well, they're not fucking then.
Yeah, I guess not.
Unless that's what she's into, is making her skin crawl up.
It's a weird kink.
Yeah. I'm not here to kink shame. If you're Perry White, the amount of times that the Daily Planet building is attacked with something, you got to be like, damn it, why does everybody keep fucking up my building? You know,
Just kind of nudge Clark. Go, hey, can we not this time?
dude, go next door. Like, you know, go check out the Daily Star. Major Force, more like Major Douchebag.
Yeah.
I like the Captain Atom in the Justice League animated series too, where he's just sort of like, it's Captain Atom, you know, like I'm a military boy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. I mean, if he's living energy, the way that he's built is obviously some kind of different thing, but they make it seem like his hair is so rigid. Look at that.
I like, again, in an example of things that don't age well. Some of us still believe in putting our country first. Yeah, you're the villain.
Mistake.
He's living energy, you idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, but what the fuck are you talking about, Black Lightning? Go ahead and do it. Obviously, you know how this has to end.
Yeah.
There you go. Good job, Nate. That's always the best way of using Captain Atom to me.
It does make sense.
God, imagine if they would have been able to make these like the not the animated, the live action films, if they could have gotten to the point that the Avengers did, where we've gotten, you know, Howard the Duck in these movies and stuff. If we could have gotten this kind of a scene with a live action Captain Atom type thing where he stops like a nuke or whatever, it's so good. But no, instead you've got the whole like, why don't we kill off Grayson instead? And there's Jimmy Olsen, bullet to the head, and we got Jenny Jerwich. Or Flash, for some reason, is gonna have a mustache. You know,
Did you know he's graduated from Dick to Rick?
the RIC thing is still a thing. RJ, full blown Karen haircut.
No, it's short, and she's empowered.
I don't think that Luther needs to be the one that's doing the countdown. I don't think that it works out like that. Usually, it's the people, you know, working on the damn thing.
They are on their way.
Inevitable failure in 5, 4. CGI. I wonder how, like, if we were to see this kind of thing happen in real life, how anybody would try to respond to it too.
Well,
We don't have Superman and all that, so we can't do that.
I feel like everybody, as we've seen with COVID, quite frankly, everybody would be too selfish to actually, band together and do the right thing.
Now we've seen lots of characters at this point, which kind of makes it seem as though they're pretty much every other character is probably around too, and you can just have like Dr. Fate just be like, all right, I'm going to send that somewhere else. I love, by the way, the stories that are told about Luthor getting cancer by having radiation poisoning. That's such a good little touch.
So logical.
Technically speaking, you're Superman. You can probably just bust through anything.
But there's rules to these things.
Now I'm drawing a blank on who's coming up on here since it's been a while. Okay, we got Hawkman. Oh, Shazam. Well, he's not Shazam. Captain Marvel at this point. This I think before they started doing the whole just calling him Shazam. Yep, Captain Marvel. Have you checked out the Dark Knight's Metal stuff?
I follow it through Comics Explained.
I've been listening to the thing that you had sent me, the Comics Explained rundown. It's like 11 hours long, so I'm like 2 hours into it or something.
It's like I want that story told through animation. That and Three Jokers and Joker War.
It's really. I don't know if they're purposely trying to be cheesy with the Captain Marvel stuff, but if they are, they're working well.
They are.
You've never been very good against magic, and magic is what I'm all about.
Yeah.
You're beating up a 15-year-old, Bruce.
That's never stopped him.
He's like, I beat up 15-year-olds all the time. What do you think?
What do you think Robin is?
Robin, yeah.
It's a 15-year-old punch bag for me to work out my emotional dependencies on.
Hawkman's never been one of my favorite characters.
Agreed.
Come on, Bruce. You know that was coming. I love the Young Justice thing where they know that he's Batman knows that he's a kid. It's like, of course Bruce knows.
Of course he does.
Oh look, it's 2020.
That's very real.
Except people aren't wearing masks. I'm sorry, Miss. Oh fuck. Fuck the meteor. Crazy face. See, as much as I like asshole characters, I do fundamentally disagree with them sometimes. Do you think they had a discussion of who could be who?
I think so.
Bruce is like, I'm already a bat. I don't want to be a hawk. Impossible to just chuck a human like that. But cool. Yeah, I like it.
I don't think it is all that impossible.
It's a pretty fast ability to delete. You gotta think at one point, like Bruce talks to Hawkman. Hawkman's like, "So you wore my gear. What do you think?" You know, like now that guard's gonna be like, "Mr. Luthor, nobody's supposed to."
Again, of the characters in this film,
Guard number 3. That's the one that needs to be real. As much as it's ridiculous that Luthor would have a green and purple mech suit, I like that they've continued to make it green and purple over the years.
it's a good color scheme.
Like, there's no reason why it would be green and purple in reality. It's just green and purple because comics used to use green and purple for villains all the time, but it's hokey enough that it's just sort of like, all right, well, whatever.
So are we going to talk about Luther being aroused by...
What do you want to get into?
Like, I just, like, I didn't see that one coming, you know? Like, that's a weird one. You shoot yourself up with steroids and you go, yeah, Waller, you're the one. That's a weird line.
You know what that means.
Yeah, like.
But then again, you got a boob window. You know, you're kind of inviting some attention there.
What is that?
Toyman to me is one of these things that I wish they wouldn't have called him Toyman.
Yeah, he's Toy Boy.
Because I like the Toyman character of Winslow Shot. And I like this guy. The X-ray goggles. If they would have called him something else, even if it would have just been like Toymaker or something, I think that's better off. Because then you can't have two Toymen.
I think I like that's a pretty cool character. He's just a boy genius, you know?
He's totally Amadeus Cho, but the DC version.
Oh my. You see?
That's cool that they do composite Superman like that.
You should know better.
So I don't know the official rankings, at least at this point anymore. But I know that Toyman, Bruce, Luthor, Mr. Terrific, they're all somewhere in the range of the smartest human. Or the smartest character, period, maybe in DC. If they've got any kind of like official rankings of that. Smartest.
I would say Luther and then Bruce.
So according to, I don't know if this one's any kind of official thing. Luthor number 1, Ray Palmer number 2, Mr. Terrific number 3, Tio Morrow, Toymaster. Who's Toymaster? Is that Toyman? Just did they give him a different name too? Oh, look at that. They named him Toymaster in a different thing. So they did what I was saying. Then Ivo, then the Brain, then Ted Cord. No. Then Dr. Savannah, and then Batman. All right, I don't buy this list. Because Ryan Choi should be on there too, and
So, in a real world scenario, is Luther the babyface?
to a lot of people. It had to be you. Dick. Weren't smart enough to fight back Luthor right then, were you, kid?
Damn, Tony.
Well, I got root for Luthor a little bit, you know?
Oh, come on. I mean, goodbye. Like,
That's the typical Batman thing where you gotta be like, I'm gonna kill myself.
you think Batman lives every day wanting to die?
Maybe.
Do you think that's why he does the shit he does? Like,
Just
willingly
death wish.
chases after danger, never ends any of his rivals.
Bruce already knows how to do everything, by the way. Climbs into the giant
Well,
rocket, and he's just sort of
he's
like,
Bruce.
I press this button, I press that button, That is my favorite version of Bruce, though, is Bat God. Who just can do everything.
Weird that they went the mech route.
Well, it's a reference to Composite Superman, which I don't know why it was always called Composite Superman if it's Superman and Batman. Why isn't it Composite Superman / Batman? But, Tell that to Jimmy Olsen. Well, I guess he's Superman's pal. He's not Superman's best friend.
Can't believe he got a fucking series.
Oh, everybody did back then.
It's Superman's buddy, his number one chum.
I mean, we're talking about the era where they had all those monkeys. And there's like a comic where Lois has a lead box on her head, and Superman's like, "Oh no, I can't see your face." It's like, why does she have a lead box on her head? What the fuck, Those comics are terrible. There's one where Jimmy just can't stop eating.
Really?
Yeah, it's really bad. He's like, I don't know what's happening. I just can't stop eating. He's eating pancakes or something. There's Luthor in one comic where he's something about like he's stealing 30 cakes or whatever. No, 40 cakes. That's what it is. Now, you were saying earlier you think that this is like a proof of concept kind of film.
Yeah.
Where it's mostly just the action sequences,
Because there's
whatever.
not a lot going on here, but there is a lot of, like, look, we've got Batman and Superman, and they're all fighting. I mean, the proof of concept definitely worked.
Yeah, because he did a ton of these.
And
that's fun.
Great.
I mean, like, you can't go wrong with just watching Batman and Superman and everybody fighting.
That's the literal Impact Wrestling logo. It's that generic.
Scary looking shot. And there goes Bruce.
No, please. Listen, I know we don't like to spoil things for our viewers, but Batman doesn't die. Ever.
Yeah. Even when they killed him in the comics, they were like, we send him back in time. It would be a good way to go out, though.
Speaking of things that don't age well.
I'd love to have a moment where I could do one of those kind of action film lines, though.
Impeach him again. The more I see Luther's antics, the more I'm like, holy shit, we lived this.
Thank God we didn't live the the asteroid.
They gotta be in the mech suit. You think he's got money for a mech suit?
And realistically, the entire mech blew up. The entire asteroid blew up. That plane's okay. Come on. The glass didn't even shatter.
Wait, Lucius Fox, baby.
Yeah. It's when Alfred goes, I got a shotgun if you need it. How weird would it be just living in a world like this where it's like, did you see that footage of Superman carrying the bat plane, landing it on top of some building?
It would be very weird.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. Like that kind of thing. Anytime I watch a movie like Cloverfield or whatever, like I'm always thinking about that. Just like, how weird would this be to be in this kind of world? Flip phones. God bless America. God bless me.
Yo, Luther's verbiage is shocking. We have to talk about
Lois.
that.
Oh yeah, it is Lois. Yeah, it hits differently in 2021.
It really fucking does. Like, he legit is just like, no, I'm the voice of the people.
That's a good line too. It's late. Come on, it's early. Yeah. That's a good representation of those two, I think. So Bruce left the plane?
No.
I mean, maybe it couldn't fly, so what's the point?
Yeah, bare bones.
Good though, fun.
Fun, very fun. Luther is scary. Living through Trump, Luther hits different.
Bruce Timm voiced Mongol?
Well, he didn't have many lines.
That's interesting. That's like, it's only an hour, and that's the type of thing that most of these are fun. Most of these are pretty good. Some of them are a little bit lackluster. Like I wasn't a big fan of like Gotham by Gaslight or Batman Ninja. I didn't like, but
I was also leery towards those two. They're good one-offs, but they could have been better.
I like better, more so I should say, not better. I like it more when it's kind of these sort of things where it's like there's just a story to tell, and let's just kind of do it. Like I mean, I like, obviously, I would like the idea of a lot of the other things like Red Sun or whatever, but sometimes they just don't execute them well enough because they try to cram in too much and it speeds along too fast. I like, for instance, in this one, it's like, all right, Batman's Batman, Superman's Superman, you know what it is. Let's just watch them do something for an hour. Because if you're not going to do a 2-hour movie where you've got the proper setup, an hour and a half of a full movie doesn't work sometimes. I'd rather take an hour of one episode of a TV show, basically. That's kind of what this feels like. This could very easily have been an episode of JLU.
Yeah.
And that works. Yeah. Not too much needed more to it. Robert Hargraves. It's a good name, Hargraves.
I like it.
I don't know for sure if this was the first out of these. Let me double check that. Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. DC animated original films. Nope, it wasn't. So the first one was Superman Doomsday? Really? Yeah, wow, 2007 for that one. There's that one, and then it was Justice League, The New Frontier, which I did not like. You got Batman, Gotham Knight, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern First Flight, which I didn't like. So that's why I think that this is the first one, because this is the first one that I actually liked out of the bunch.
Would make sense.
And then we got Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, which is a pretty damn good one. It's the next one. And then Under the Red Hood, which of course we know is a really good one too. Yeah, that's Batman or Superman / Batman. Why is it Superman / Batman instead of Batman / Superman? Alphabetical order.
It's Batman / Superman in my world.
In an opposite universe, it's Batman, Superman, and the plot goes down differently.
By differently, do you mean better?
No, they take Toyman and they throw him into the asteroid instead of using the mech. That's the only difference. Yeah, any other thoughts you got? Now that this is, I already have mine like past the screen and everything.
I'm stuck on Luther.
Wasn't expecting that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, maybe 10 years later we can all look and say, sometimes maniacal people can be president.
Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this with us. As far as plugs go, obviously, if you're interested in the Pick Your Poison tier and you want to do what Guest 5 did here with sponsoring this, go to patreon.com/fanboysanonymous. Check out everything else that's happening on Fanboys Anonymous as well. We have been doing the Review to a Kill podcast, which is a James Bond breakdown of all the different movies. We've got some other things that have been happening here and there. We did the last FanTracks was Mulan. Go back and check that out if you're interested in that. And we've got things on the Smart Out Moment stuff for pro wrestling if you're interested in pro wrestling. So go to smartoutmoment.com. Check out what I've got going on all over there. Check out what Rob's got going on as well.
Yeah, if you're interested in pro wrestling, you really need to check out what I've got going on. Fightful.com, WrestleZone.com. I'm always everywhere with the world of wrestling. There's the Paul Heyman SmackDown podcast, where myself and Callum Wiggins, you know him from the Review to a Kill podcast, and all the other cool Smart Out Moment stuff. We go back in time to all the months that Paul Heyman was president. Jesus.
You're all over the place tonight.
Paul Heyman was head writer of SmackDown, and we're almost done with that journey, but we will be beginning a new one, so check out the archives on the Smart Out Moment YouTube channel, and stay tuned to see what we've got coming next, and follow me on Twitter at DudeFelice.
You're gonna have nightmares about presidents now.
I think I am.
And check out what I've got at Tony Mango. I don't know what else is coming up next from when you're listening to this, because you could be listening to this at any time. But if it is something here, if it's something on Smart Out Moment, if it's something like a couple movies or whatever else is happening, I hope you enjoy that too. Hope you're having a good day or night or whatever, weekend. Good life. And we will see you next time. But for now, it's time for us to geek out.